At Kaiser Manufacturing, our commitment to engineering and developing new products is reflected in the wide range of fabricated items we produce for the manufacturing and retail industries. From simple to complex fabrication, we can do that. We have a full team of engineers ready to take your concept from prototype to full production. Call us for a quote today to see your next idea brought to life. Kaiser Manufacturing, proud to be Michigan made.
Stay up to date on the greatest shows on dirt with text messages from DIRTVision. Visit alerts.dirtvision.com to sign up. Get the latest info on your favorite National Racing Series broadcasts, plus those from our premier weekly tracks. Sign up now at alerts.dirtvision.com.
You're watching the World of Outlaws late models, presented by DIRTVision.
Powerful late models on the planet!
The best drivers, the best coverage. DIRTVision is home to the greatest shows on dirt.
Summer has a way of bringing people together. For some, it's backyard barbecues and family vacations. For others, it's weekends at the racetrack with the family we've built through this sport.
One of the most powerful late models on the planet!
Those traditions don't just shape our lives, they shape the world of dirt racing.
He's a four-time PDC champion. Brandon Shepherd wins it here at Fairbury.
Fresh on the heels of the Prairie Dirt Classic, another late model event calls us back together for another story that will be remembered long after the summer ends.
Reaper Ryan Custon wins the USA Nationals.
Welcome to USA Nationals Weekend on DIRTVision. Just 5 days since its last crown jewel, the scenery, the climate, the style of racing has changed. The one thing that hasn't is what is at stake. As the World of Outlaws Late Model Series welcomes you to Cedar Lake Speedway in Wisconsin, the opening night of USA Nationals Weekend. Other than that, Other things that remain the same include our coverage from the DIRTVision studio. Beginning and ending each of the next 3 days, we will be with you every step of the way until Saturday night's $100,000 to win USA Nationals reaches the finish line. Good evening, everybody. I am Dave Reef. Before we look ahead, what do you say we rewind to Fairbury, Illinois, where the Prairie Dirt Classic once again lived up to its crown jewel reputation. With packed grandstands, incredible competition, and a 100-lap battle that ended with one of the most dominant owner-driver pairings in late model history, they reminded everyone that they have a lot left in the tank.
It'll be the 14 of Trey Mills and Brandon Shepard alongside for the 36th running of the Prairie Dirt Classic off turn 4. Here we go, River Morales down into turn number 1.
Trey Mills, the MD3 Rookie of the Year contender, going to take the early race lead down the back straightaway. Brandon Shepard second, Jason Fager follows in third. Coming around to lead lap number 1, $500 a lap. Give it to Trey Mills. Tyler Erb now going to get racy here, closing in on the 13 of Murdy for that third spot, and then right behind him is Bobby Pierce in fifth. So here comes Turbo and the 32 of Pierce. Both of them closing in. Pierce thinks of a slider on the 1 of Turbo into turn number 1, and the smooth operator up to fourth.
Good job by Bobby Pierce. He takes the position away from Tyler Erb. Mills skirts up to the top. Brandon Shepard going to work right through the middle, down the back straightaway. Bobby Pierce around Dallin Murdy again, officially for third. We'll see if he gets him at the line. Pierce goes high, Shepard goes low for the lead. It is the 14 of Mills, Shepard, and now Bobby Pierce third. The future is bright. Can Trey Mills hold on? We got Bobby Pierce, Brandon Shepard right behind him. Oh, baby. Fixing to get good in the PDC, Ruben. Here we go.
67 laps to go. Trey Mills now has his work cut out for him because he has two of Illinois' greatest, Bobby Pierce and Brandon Shepard right behind him. Pierce gets around Shepard for second. Ramping up here, Mike. The 32 of Pierce has second. Shepard starting to turn it on here with just 40 laps to go. It's starting to get down to the nitty-gritty. By the time you know it, blink of an eye, there'll be 10 to go. So down the back straightaway, Mills, they're catching him. Here comes Shepard for second, Mike.
Brandon Shepard, Bobby Pierce, and Hudson O'Neal set ready to settle the score for $50,000. What a race all of a sudden with 37 to
Shepard's
go.
there for the race lead. He goes to the inside. Do we see the second leader of this feature? He takes it down the back straightaway. Can he make it official off of turn number 4? Shepard to the lead in the Rocket 1 in hopes of his 4th Prairie Dirt Classic. And right there you have the 36 of McKay Winger right in the middle of your leaders there. So Shepard leads down the back straightaway with the assurance of a lap car over Mills. And then here comes Hudson O'Neal to the inside of the 32 of Pierce. Those two Hoosier to Hoosier down the front straightaway. Hudson O'Neal to third, Mike Norris.
Well, does he slide up in front of Bobby Pierce? He does. Pierce trying to get around his outside. Can't do it. To third goes Hudson O'Neal. Heavy lap traffic in front of your race leaders. Yeah, 28 to go. Here we go. Can we do it? Brandon Shepard. Trey Mills, Hudson O'Neal looking to go side by side. Good restart for Hudson O'Neal. He's going to go to second.
Wow, what a run for him. Him and Pierce side by side down the back straightaway. The Dave Warren powered. Oh, Trey Mills off the pace. Illinois so good to him. He knows how to get around here. A year ago, he was getting his feet wet again in the Rocket 1. He got second. A year later, he's back on top. He's a 4-time PDC champion. Brandon Shepard wins it here at Fairbury.
And out of the here and now, where it is a full outlaw points race. But, it's starting to feel like old times again for Mark Richards and Brandon Shepard as he marks his first crown jewel win in the Rocket House car since the last time he won the same race in 2022. Shepard's 90th series win, also his 128th national touring triumph, a number good enough to pass the late Scott Bloomquist to make the New Berlin, Illinois native the winningest driver in combined history of the World of Outlaws and Lucas Oil Late Model Series. Now, having said that, you suppose he's a threat to win a second crown jewel in as many weeks? Don't look to me for any long odds, as B-Shep's midweek Lincoln score last week combined with that 4th win at the PDC to further seize the spotlight, ending Bobby Pierce's 8-week run at the top of Dirt on Dirt's weekly power rankings. In fact, I'd make a case why the 5-time World of Outlaw champion could easily pull off the repeat. The jump from a quarter mile to the 3H track in Wisconsin doesn't just add distance per lap. There simply is more real estate, which leaves more time to process, plan, and pounce, just like he did last Saturday on lap 64. Just remember, the headline isn't written until all the cards are played, and right now the Rocket 1 team's deck is stacked.
We seem to have a good car here every year we come here, and we love coming to Cedar Lake. Just somehow over the years we've only been able to get this race done one time, or me at least. So yeah, we've been close and been in the hunt or in the lead or in second. coming to the final stages of the race and things happen, and just numerous things over the years. Win or lose, it leaves you with some sort of feeling, whether it's your want to try to do better and to try to win, or to try to, do better than you did the night before, or if it's, you won and you got the feeling of you want to go do that again. So I still get excited before the races and still get nervous, and whenever the time comes when I stop being nervous and stop caring as much as what I do now, I think that'll be the day that I decide to slow down a little bit, or one of my kids get old enough to take over for sure. Sometimes it takes, full circle moments and just, going back and figuring out where you came from and figuring out how you got there to really find the enjoyment back in it. So that's, like I said, it's just been fun ride for me for sure, and we're going to keep the train rolling as long as we can.
Reflective B, Shep? That's pretty interesting for a guy who's still so very young. If there is one driver capable of turning the page after PDC disappointment, it's the current World of Outlaw point leader, the smooth operator, Bobby Pierce. And while he did leave Fairbury without the trophy, well, champions don't dwell on what got away. They focus on what's next. And another crown jewel certainly offers the perfect opportunity to remind everyone why Bobby Pierce is still the man to beat. Now, if he only had a track record at Cedar Lake Speedway, he does. Victorious in the USA Nationals in 2023 and again in 2024, Pierce is one of 10 drivers who have won this event multiple times. But for what it's worth, he also won the Thursday night on both occasions. Well, already with the Show Me 100 and Dream Jewels claimed this year, Pierce still rules the roost and will go for his third crown with even more history on the table. Just one win away from tying the World of Outlaws single season record of 18, achieved by both Josh Richards and Brandon Shepard. It really does feel like it's not a matter of if, but when the smooth operator rewrites the World of Outlaws history books again.
I'm looking forward to it. Talk about that wins record. What are we at? 17 now. We need one more to tie it. So that's pretty exciting. And I know there's, I think, a little over a dozen races left in the year. So lots of time to still get it done. It'd be nice if we could just get it done this weekend. But tonight's a 30-lap race. So depending on what tires you put on, you can just go hard right away and not worry about tire management or this and that. And obviously really benefit you if you start up front. So, and it being the first race of the weekend, I feel like this track is still a little different than what it used to be with the dirt that they've been putting on it. It's more of a red dirt than a kind of a blackish, grayish dirt it used to have. So, we need to figure this place out quickly because come tomorrow is our prelim. All we do is qualify and heat race. So, for the 100-lapper on Saturday, obviously, tire wear comes into play and all sorts of different stuff. We just had the 100 laps EDC, so 100 laps here at Cedar Lake. It's a long time. If your car is good, you can come to the front, and just like I said, hopefully we get that set up really dialed in come Saturday, so we're confident for that.
Defending race winner Ryan Gustin is doing something for the first time ever. 1 year ago, he left New Richmond with the biggest win of his career after conquering the 100-lap USA Nationals, grabbing the $100,000 first place prize. It is the win that elevated the Reaper from race winner to crown jewel champion. Now he's back trying to prove lightning can strike twice. No matter what happens this weekend, you can never take away what happened here last year. A 13-time Outlaws winner prior, Ryan Gustin had already proved he knew how to get the job done, but crown jewel wins are what turn stars into legends. And while the Reaper knows he can win here because he is the Department of Defense, now comes the hardest part, turning yesterday's confidence into today's results. Just a dairy showdown win to show in the first 38 starts this year, the Reaper is just like the iconic James Bond Vesper Martini, shaken, not stirred. Looking for some redemption. Sometimes all it comes down to is going back to where you made history. Ryan Gustin hopes a return to Cedar Lake is exactly what his 2026 season needs.
Well, it was really enjoyable for sure. It kind of felt surreal there for a few days anyway. When you can win something that big, it definitely means a lot to you. But as far as trying to defend it goes, just obviously it's not the same car. The car we had was a little bit different. It had some different shock mounts and stuff on it. But just trying to duplicate, everything else to the best of our ability and try to unload basically, pretty close to what we won with. Hopefully we're good right out of the box here and don't have to do anything too crazy to get this thing to go around the racetrack good like it was last year. But you know, at the same time, you if you are off a little bit, you definitely gotta test a little bit this first night to be really good for tomorrow to set yourself up and be in the front of that deal. You know, you can come from the back with 100 laps at the same time. You know, you don't know what you're gonna get for a track either, if it's gonna be, you know, really good or super muddy. You know, I've been here when it's last year, it was pretty slick. You know, right out the get going. I've been here too, where you start in the back, get all mudded up, and just it's hard to go anywhere after that. But they say just hopefully everything goes smooth and we can defend it.
Still to come on today's pre-race coverage, DIRTVision pit reporter Peyton Williams joins us from the track with the latest from the USA Nationals, the points, pursuers, and more. As this Crown Jewel weekend kicks off tonight's World of Outlaws points race. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right here on DIRTVision.
MD3, the most advanced body panels on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. MD3, the #1 body choice for top dirt racers.
At Pit Boss Jack's, we put in the work in the shop so you can put in your work at the track. Engineering, speed, durability. Pit Boss Jack's, like a boss.
The ultimate dirt racing companion is here. Follow your favorite World Racing Group series and drivers. Get live timing and scoring, low latency track radio, and instant race highlights right on your phone. The all-new World Racing Group app puts dirt racing in your pocket. Don't miss a single second. Download it now on iOS and Android.
Established in 2021, Stacked Products became the leading composite body panel manufacturer for dirt late model and modified racers. From hoods and filler panels to doors and quarter panels, every Stacked Products body panel is engineered to withstand the demands of dirt racing. Each product undergoes extensive in-house and on-track testing before reaching the market. Join the growing number of racers across the nation making the switch to Stacked Products. Contact your dealer today. Stacked Products, where innovation meets creation.
From the southwest, you are looking northeast. Turn 1's at the bottom of your screen all the way across to turn number 3. This is Cedar Lake Speedway, and it looks race ready to go as we welcome you back to the opening night coverage of the USA Nationals weekend with a full World of Outlaw points race ready to come your way here on DIRTVision. As has become the tradition here on pre-race, an opportunity now to talk with some of the guys that are going to be on the ground covering all of that action. And in this case, we're talking about DIRTVision pit reporter Peyton Williams, who joins us now from the racetrack. And Peyton, let's just start with a very obvious question. Dude, that's 3 crown jewels in a row for you. You've gone from the Kings Royal to the PDC, now to the USA Nationals. How's the NOS energy tank holding up? You ready for this one now?
Hey, Dave, we're rocking and rolling. We're hunting down these crown jewels 1 week at a time. And like you said, hard to believe that, for me at least, been able to experience this 3 consecutive weeks in a row. This weekend, it'll be 3 nights of racing at Cedar Lake Speedway, my first USA Nationals, and I'm looking forward to it.
Let's start by talking about the obvious question. This is a full World of Outlaw points night. It doesn't factor into what happens tomorrow or what happens Saturday. Yet we have a whole host of cars here. So I imagine the strategy, depending on what side of the fence you run on, is going to be different, because points matter when it comes to World of Outlaw racers tonight.
Yeah, Dave, that's exactly what a lot of these drivers said to me first today. That was my first question, is the approach that they have entering tonight. And it's a mixed bag of approaches, as you could guess, because for the Outlaw guys, this is a normal night. They're trying to, of course, accumulate as many points as possible, but also tune up their race car over the course of 30 laps for 100 on Saturday. And they'll show up tomorrow, they'll hot lap, they'll run their heat races, and then that's it before we race for $100,000 on Saturday. But as for tonight, you've got 14 different platinum drivers that want to get as much as they can out of tonight for their notebook, but also their point standings. And then guys like Brandon Shepard, who just won his 4th Prairie Dirt Classic, Hudson O'Neal, some of the Lucas guys, some of the local guys. Look, they have nothing to lose, right? Points aren't on the line for them, and they can take full advantage of 30 laps here tonight around Cedar Lake Speedway. And so that'll mix things up a little bit differently in terms of the approaches these drivers use, the tires they may want to test or work with over the course of 30 laps tonight, but that all adds to the excitement of the first of 3 nights here in New Richmond, Wisconsin.
We'll get a chance to talk about some of those drivers coming up in a little bit, but normally when you talk about Crown Jewel events, you don't necessarily talk about World of Outlaw full points, but those are at stake tonight, so let's show you what those look like up to the moment heading into tonight. And of course, Bobby Pierce is still far and away in that #1 position. He currently holds a 77-point lead over Nick Hoffman. Below him, Tyler Erb, that's one of the guys we're going to talk about coming up in a little bit. Tim McCready, Ryan Gustin. You just kind of follow the names on down. Then there's the youngster down in position number 9, Trey Mills, again, one of these guys we're talking about. In fact, he's probably got the best points race going right now, because he is nipping at the heels of Dennis Erb Jr.
Just lay it down. Yeah, for Tyler Erb, it's an opportunity, these guys want to continue to make the most of what they can, and when you have some guys at the lower half of the table trying to continue to accumulate points to a point where they're actually still in battles for positions in the point standings, it's an opportunity for these guys, one, at the end of the year, to definitely add some weight to the bag of money that they'll have. For Tyler Erb, look, he's somebody that we've talked about, Nick Hoffman and Bobby Pierce in the top 2 positions. Well, he's continuing to have a career year with the Outlaws. He won $100,000 earlier this year, was rather strong both nights of competition at the Prairie Dirt Classic, and he is trying to solidify a position in the top half of the table. Ryan Gustin, somebody that has success here at Cedar Lake Speedway, the defending USA Nationals champion, hoping to duplicate that performance, get a 2nd Crown Jewel title here in a row. And again, it all starts tonight when it comes to trying to rack up those points and position themselves for success this weekend. But we're well over the halfway point of the 2026 season, nearly a dozen races left on the schedule, and 3 nights of racing here at Cedar Lake really starts that home stretch for these guys trying to cement their position in the points table.
Well, I tipped my hand just a little bit ago about Trey Mills as we enter this second half. This is a driver that's coming with a lot of momentum. You know, we've talked a lot about the heavy hitters, the Hoffmans, the Pierces, the Gustins of the world, and of course Shepard, who's going for the 2 crown jewels in a row. But Trey Mills almost made the PDC his breakout event. He is that close. How close is that team from really getting that breakthrough win? Whether it's a crown jewel or not, that's to be decided. But just how close do you feel like Trey Mills is getting?
Well, for specifically Trey Mills, as you just said, nipping on the heels of Dennis Erb Jr., he wants every position in the point standings that he can get, but he's also got his eyes locked on that Rookie of the Year points battle. And that margin between he and MD3 Rookie of the Year points leader Dalton Wilson is as close as it's been since the 2nd month of the season. Only 53 points separate those 2 freshman drivers, or rookie drivers, I should say. And it's an opportunity for Trey Mills to continue to pad the notebooks, especially when it comes to these 100-lap these crown jewel events. He won the Herald and Review 100 at Macon Speedway last year. He was on the pole for the Dream, led some laps there obviously had a career payday by leading the first 63 laps of the feature at the Prairie Dirt Classic last week, and just like that, less than a week later, has another opportunity once we get to competition on Saturday night to use that notebook for 100 laps here at Cedar Lake Speedway. And I think as the season has progressed, as in true fashion for these young drivers, they continue to improve. And for Trey Mills, it's not necessarily been the tallies in the win column. He's still looking for his first trip to World of Outlaws victory lane, but we're starting to see those spurts of consistency grow longer and wider. We're seeing him in the top 10. We're seeing him in the top 5 time and time again when it comes to outlaw competition. And so, yes, he's on the bottom half of the top 10 in the points table, but the way he's running, yeah, I would expect him to knock off a couple of more positions by the time we get to America's Home for Racing, the dirt track at Charlotte in November.
From Trey Mills, again, just barely pushing the age of 20. I said it last week as he was heading into that PDC on the pole, you know, maybe he's too young to even know what he's not supposed to know, but I also think he knows it now, and I also think he's showing a maturity. What have you seen out of him throughout the course of the year that gives you belief that that's still going to happen in the year 2026?
Well, he's never too high and he's never too low, and that's a hard trait to. I don't even know that that's teachable. That's part of his makeup, part of his personality, and so he's continuing to step closer to that taste of victory lane. But again, as we inch closer to the end of his first season, his rookie campaign with the Outlaws, the fact that he's so locked and grounded, that's the word I like to use, is he's grounded to whatever happens. And I know that it was a career day, and that's the high of his performance at the Prairie Dirt Classic last week. But let's be honest, he could have had a lot of reasons to be dejected as well. He led over half of a Crown Jewel event, was hoping for his first Outlaw win, and what better place would it have been than at Fairbury Speedway, in front of that Fairbury faithful, in front of that crowd, to get his first Outlaw victory. And it's experiences like that may not translate or relate as well to, if that's, you know, no disrespect to other places, but if it's not a Crown Jewel, if it's a midweek show somewhere, a random Friday, Saturday night, to be on that stage, to experience racing with the country's best super late model drivers, and to be just a few steps short of knocking off that first win, those are much more valuable experiences that the Floridian has here under his belt now as we approach the end of 2026.
So if Trey Mills is considered grounded, the next guy we're going to talk about is basically wide open. Tyler Erb is showing some very positive signs, especially in these major events. Turbo time, could it be upon us once again here at Cedar Lake Speedway tonight?
I would like to think so, Dave. He was so fast at Fairbury for all 3 nights of racing. Flo's night on Wednesday, and then the 2 nights with the Outlaws on Friday and Saturday. The results don't show it. He got together with Josh Rice on Wednesday, and then, of course, had some contact with Brandon Shepard that sent him to the tail of the field over the course of the running of the Prairie Dirt Classic. And I know that the fans think, we all think, and to some point it is true that Tyler Erb is a wild personality. He's somebody that we need in the dirt racing scene. But over the last 3 years, as I've covered him, specifically the first 2 on the Hell Tour, and as he's made the transition to the Outlaws here in 2026, there's some personal stuff in his life. He's expecting a son in the future. He's recently engaged. He just moved into a house, he told me earlier this week in Ohio. And so there's a lot of real life things that are slowly bringing Tyler Erb into, I don't want to use the word maturity. He's a mature driver. He's a mature person, obviously. He's gotten to this point, but he is a bright personality. He's a colorful personality. You never know what he's going to say on the microphone, but it's not just the stuff away from the racetrack. He's won a 6-figure payday here in 2026 and continues to be up front. That's why he's solidified himself 3rd in the point standings. And so if he has the speed that he had last week and the speed that he's had here recently, he's been in the top 10 in 21 of the last 23 races. 15 of those were inside the top 5. So I know we're a bit removed from his last win, which came at West Virginia Motor Speedway, but would not surprise me at all to see that best performance, green number 1 in victory lane here, and potentially a first crown jewel for the new Waverly, Texas native.
No, Neil, but we're running out of time. You guys will certainly talk about him at the racetrack tonight, because this is a guy that was so close to the Prairie Dirt Classic. He is hunting USA glory. But hey, it's time to go to work. The racetrack's ready. The cars are on their way, so we got to get you down to the pits. Thank you very much for joining us in our pre-race show. That's Peyton Williams. Well, that will do it for tonight's pre-race coverage. The next chapter in the World of Outlaws 2026 season is about to be penned on the racetrack. And when the checker flag falls, do not go anywhere. Our post-race show will have more as we break down the feature, complete with highlights, analysis, and interviews. For now, it's time to go trackside with the voice of the world of Outlaws. Here is Ruben Morales.
Well, good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to Cedar Lake Speedway here in New Richmond, Wisconsin for the 39th Annual USA Nationals. My name's Ruben Morales, the voice of the world of Outlaws, welcoming you to Cedar Lake Speedway alongside my good partner in crime, Chris Steppen. Welcome to the booth, everyone. Chris Steppen, the voice, of course, of the Dirt Car Summer Nationals, Cedar Lake Speedway, FYE Motorsports, you name it. Chris, we are in for another great weekend, my friend.
Man, we sure are. What awesome weather we've got today, and of course, nearly 100 late models as we fully expected here to kick off this 39th annual weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a big weekend. Hard to believe, Chris. Of course, you've been around this event all year. You know, you're from here your whole life. Yeah. It's crazy to believe 40th next year. Can you believe it's already the 39th?
Yeah, it's wild. We were having that discussion, obviously, in the Ready meeting earlier today, but with some race fans in the pit area today, just how many have you missed, and how many have you been to, and how many of these events have, maybe missed one or two? And there's a lot of people, and we'll find out in a little while, but there's a lot of people that have been to the majority of these USA Nationals the last 38 years plus tonight.
Yeah, started back in 1988. Billy Moyer ended up winning the first 3 USA Nationals, and now here we are continuing on the tradition in 2026. A great field of cars for the world of Outlaws, Chris. We have 50 of them. We'll get ready to hot lap and qualify them after the Cedar Lake Late Models as the Cedar Lake Late Models roll onto the speedway for hot laps.
Yeah, Cedar Lake cars will be first. 43 Cedar Lake Late Models have rolled in tonight. Great Thursday night field for the Cedar Lake cars. Here are the cars as they roll down the front straightaway. We'll let you know who these drivers are. First driver you see will be the 14. That's Robbie Johnson. Robbie's out of Wilson, Wisconsin. So he works his way down the front straightaway in that Stout Buckets 14 car. Right behind him, that 37X. That'll be Skeeter Esty. Esty's out of Kelly Lake, Minnesota. Sitting in that AK race car for Skeeter Esty. The driver that's the all-black car with no numbers on it, that is Hudson, Wisconsin's Jeff Keeney. Jeff Keeney drives the 61 car. That is his race car with an all-black tinned, no wrap so far for Jeff Keeney there in the 61. Back out of retirement. He took the last couple of years off. Also on the back straightaway, the 29F car. That'll be Superior, Wisconsin's Dave Flynn. Dave Flynn behind the wheel of that Superior Fuel Rick's Auto Body 29. Other cars on the racetrack, the 50 car, you'll see the black, white, and orange 50 car. That's New Richmond's Gavin Terrace. Gavin Terrace working down the front straightaway. Of course, he sits in that Weir's Machine V-Brock Performance number 50 car. More late models working their way into the lineup chute as we speak. As we said, 43 of them. Good field on a Thursday night. We expect a couple of more cars to roll in the Cedar Lake division tomorrow and Saturday nights as well. Couple more cars working their way onto the racetrack, kind of stuck in the staging lane back there. Is everybody trying to get positioned to where they need to be? Lance Hofer will be the next driver you see on the speedway, the black, white, and pink 11 car. Several 11 cars here, of course, this weekend. He is one of them. He comes to you out of Fountain City, Wisconsin. Behind the wheel of the 11, there he comes in that CFR Complete Filtration 11. Right behind him, the 55, that black and orange 55C. That'll be Chad Mader. Chad Mader behind the wheel of the 55C as always. Chad out of Eau Claire. Couple more cars rolling. Check this one out, race fans. That black and white 00 car, that Willow Ranch Dust Pod sponsored 00. If you look close, you see a little EH in the number. That is Fort Francis, Ontario, Steve Arpin back behind the wheel of a late model. First time we have seen Steve at Cedar Lake in 20 years behind the wheel of a race car. He was a regular here. He ran a lot of races and won a lot of races here back in his Wissota days.
Chris, he actually told me last time he was in a late model was actually here 2017 when he flipped. He showed me the picture of it. Pretty crazy. Good to see him here this weekend.
He does have one career Wissota late model victory. Came at the Electric City Speedway in Montana. And speaking of Montana, driver from Great Falls, Montana, where Electric City is, the 05 car, he has rolled to the racetrack as well. That is a teammate to Steve Arpin here this weekend. It is Tyler Leach behind the wheel of the 05 in that Dust Pods Willow Ranch 05. Of course, Michael Leach will be here as well. We'll have 3 Dust Pods cars in the field this weekend. Other cars you see on the speedway, the 33C car. You will find down the back straightaway, that's Ham Lake, Minnesota's Cody Emmons. Cody in the 33Cs. He now works off turn number 4. That might be it for the opening hot lap session of the night. Take a look at this Steve Arpin situation here. I do want to refresh myself to see how many victories he does potentially have here at Cedar Lake. He was a regular there for a while. Back when he lived in Fort Francis. Of course, he lived in Rochester, Minnesota for a while as well. Steve with 2 Midwest Modified victories, both coming in April of 2005. Back when he ran a B-Mod. He does have 6 career Modified victories here as well. Last one also coming in 2005. Never won in a late model here, so we'll see what happens tonight. But cool to have him back. Ruben, he was scheduled to run at the Deer Creek Speedway to go for 50, right? That was the plan, is they were going to bring this car up over the 4th of July weekend and run it at Deer Creek. And then, of course, that event got lost to weather, so here it is.
There's actually a couple things that carried over, not just Steve Arpin. Tristan Chamberlain also running a cool Ronald McDonald House this weekend. Obviously, we go to the Ronald McDonald House there in Rochester, and we're a big part of that. That wrap has made it here this weekend. We have a cool story on that coming up later. A couple things. I know Todd Jerzak in the house from the Napa Auto Parts Go for 50. Shout out to them, and hopefully we get better weather next year, so we celebrate 4th of July down at Deer Creek Speedway. But Chris, man, just good weather right now, and going to be a good weekend. Glad to be here at Cedar Lake again.
Yeah, this event, obviously, like you said, has been around for almost 40 years. A year from today, basically, we'll be talking about the 40th annual USA Nationals, and of course, lots and lots of history. It's one that everybody circles, and you mentioned it before when we were doing audio checks this afternoon. Fresh paint on the walls.
Yes.
This place, of course, had those checkers around the walls for many, many years, and then they went away from it. And it was just a yellow wall there for a while, and now they've brought that back the last couple of years, and it looks really, really cool.
And especially with a checkered pattern on the top. It always makes it cool. When I see a yellow wall, I think of Cedar Lake. It screams Cedar Lake. It's so cool. Which, by the way, do we know what the Blinky is on Saturday?
No.
No, that's a secret till Saturday.
Nobody needs to know that for another 48 hours.
That's right. I'm telling you, for everyone watching on DIRTVision, if you're a driving distance away to Cedar Lake, come out Saturday. If you can make a day, Saturday, because I'm telling you, it is the coolest driver intros in dirt late model racing outside, and to make that atmosphere outside, it is super, super cool to experience in person.
Yeah, it is. And if you're watching on DIRTVision, you see the screen right now. If you've never been to Cedar Lake, there's tiered parking here through turns 3 and 4. All the folks who are on DIRTVision right now, if you're in Motorhome Row there between 3 and 4, you can wave at the camera. There's a bunch of people sitting up there getting ready to watch hot laps all the way around the top side of 3 and 4, and then there's a second level around the lower side of 3 and 4 where they don't put motorhomes, of course, but they put trucks and cars and whatever. It's pretty neat to set up here at Cedar Lake for sure.
Yeah, we saw a little replay from last year's driver intros. It's so cool. It just gives me chills thinking about it, Chris. And a lot of great things coming up this weekend, Chris. Of course, fireworks tomorrow, race fans, before the features. The fireworks here are no joke either. Good stuff. And post-race party tonight, race fans. Don't forget Sunday's Regret Band going to take the stage tonight down at the Cedar Lake Arena. Then tomorrow, the FN Radio Band going to take center stage. Just a lot happening here at Cedar Lake Speedway. There's never a shortage of entertainment here, Chris. There's always something to do, whether you're camping here, watching the races during the day. Cedar Lake Speedway does a great job tubing. The buses are here at 11 a.m., 12 p.m. to pick up fans on the back straightaway to take you down tubing. Hey, by the way, cornhole tournament coming up this weekend. I know you got a couple more cars on there.
Good.
Yeah, beanbag toss tournament tomorrow, race fans. Rain or shine, we're doing the beanbag toss tournament tomorrow. 11 a.m. is check-in. 12 o'clock, noon is when the tournament starts. We'll put a QR code up on the screen later on today, but for now you can go visit Amanda and Jasmine. There's a QR code on the big screen, race fans. If you want to participate in the beanbag toss tournament tomorrow, scan that QR code on the big screen. And hey, Chris, if you win, the winner will have the choice between World Finals tickets or next year's USA Nationals and custom World of Outlaw cornhole bags. Second place will receive whichever is not chosen, and then of course trophy boards to the top 3 teams. So pretty cool stuff. There's always something to do here at Cedar Lake.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We've talked about all the cool things, and I don't know if you mentioned it before I walked in the booth, but if you want to reserve your tickets and camping for next year, did you already talk about this or not yet? We'll do it 1,000 times anyway. So fans, don't forget, if you want to sit where you're sitting or camp where you're camping next year, you can reserve those tickets for next year's USA Nationals until 9 o'clock tonight, or from 11 to 9 tomorrow, or from 11 to 1 on Saturday. But if you wait until 10 to 1 on Saturday, you might not have your seats, because right at 1 o'clock they're going to shut that down, and they're going to open it up to anybody else about 1:30 on Saturday afternoon. So if you want to sit where you're sitting or camp where you're camping next year, make sure you reserve those tickets this weekend. Camping, as always, sold out again here in 2026. We want to make sure If you want to have your camping spot, make sure you reserve that, because there will be a line of people wanting to take it away from you if you don't do that here this weekend. A couple more cars have rolled onto the racetrack, as you see, trying to roll this speedway in before we go hot lapping. We'll let you know who some of these late arrivals onto the speedway. We'll see which one the camera picks up first. We'll let them do that, and then we'll let you know who that is. Or I'll just do it my own.
So the Green banner is going to be up all weekend long. It is $5 a ticket at the Joe Provo stand for the backstretch and front stretch. $5 for a ticket. You walk home with that banner. It's Green banner.
A couple other things to mention to you. There's John Canta on the screen. Thank you for picking a car there. I was doing something else for a moment. Elk Mound, Wisconsin's John Canta. Of course, been a long-time racing veteran, the sheriff in the 85. Other cars that are working down the front straight with a 53. How about the 53 car? That's Danny Bargender, the driver out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, behind the wheel of that Sorensen Motorsports 53. Right behind him, the 68 car, you will find Mike Prochnow, the driver out of Menominee, behind the wheel of that Tractor Central 68. Other cars working down into turn number 1. We'll see who the next couple of drivers we have not seen. We have not yet seen that 44 car working down into turn number 1. There's a couple of them. That 44 will be Cade Nelson. Cade out of Hermantown, Minnesota, in the 44s. He works into turn number 3. Right behind him, the 11 car. He sits second on the all-time Cedar Lake Speedway feature win list. That's New Richmond, Wisconsin's Pat Dorr. Pat Dorr behind the wheel of the 11. Car that just went by him on the inside, the 19, another one of our racing veterans. That's Cumberland, Wisconsin, Steve Larson. Steve Larson behind the wheel of the 19. Right behind him, the black and white 99 car, his one appearance of the year. That is Sawyer Specht. Sawyer Specht out of Sheboygan Falls, one behind the wheel of the black and white 99. Other cars out there, the 22 car, that's Lonsdale, Minnesota's Nick Panitsky. Nick Panitsky behind the wheel, the black, white, and orange 22. Right behind him, you'll find the 10 car. He makes the trip out of Huron, South Dakota. That's Cole Searing. Cole Searing behind the wheel of that Collins Brothers Towing Minnesota Truck Headquarters 10. Jake Radetzky also on the racetrack. Radetzky out of Menominee in that Champagne's 27 cars. He's rolling around trying to work his way off onto the infield in the 27. There's the other 44 car. Both Daryl Nelson and Cade Nelson here out of Hermantown, Minnesota in their 44 machines. Next driver on the speedway, the 6 car. He comes to you out of Grand Forks, North Dakota. This is Nick Corbett. Nick Corbett behind the wheel of the 6. Working down the front straightaway, this 4TW here at the flag stand. He makes a long trip out of Mesa, Arizona. That's the 4TW of Tim Ward. Tim Ward out of Mesa, Arizona. I know he now calls Harcourt, Iowa home, but he'll always be from Mesa, Arizona to me. Looking down the back straightaway is Tim Ward. Right behind him, the 51 car you will find. That is Marshfield, Wisconsin's Chris Ortell. Chris Ortell behind the wheel of the blue and orange 51. Other cars on the speedway, you will find the 88 car. He works his way into turn number 3 behind the wheel of that Hukowski Motorsports 88 is Superior, Wisconsin's Jacob Anderson. Jacob Anderson in the 88. Right behind him, the 89, that'll be A.J. Diemel. Diemel out of Elk Mound, Wisconsin in that Dale and Tammy White-owned White City Glass 89. Right behind him, the 11 car, that'll be Hudson, Wisconsin's Nitro, James Giassi. James Giassi behind the wheel at GRP Motorsports Tile Shop 11. Also on the racetrack, a couple more cars we have not yet seen. The 04, that'll be Adam Ayotte. 04 junior cars, he works his way into turn number 1. He's out of Elk River, Minnesota, Midwest Painting and Drywall M&B Services 04. Brett Schaefer on the back straightaway as well. Schaefer in that Kelly Iverson Trucking 22 car. He comes to you out of Menominee. And the final driver in this group's a 42 car. He works down the front straightaway now as the checkered comes out. That's Clear Lake, Wisconsin's Johnny Emerson. Johnny Emerson in that Rise and Grind Realty Culver's sponsored 42. So Cedar Lake late models will get a quick green-white checkered hot lap session. Again, 43 cars. Brett Schaefer the fastest in that first hot lap session. Driver of that black and blue 22 here at the flag stand. He is 16,294. 16294 for Brett Schaefer. The next drivers continue to roll back out. You've seen the majority of them. We'll let you know who they are again. The 00, that's the 00A car for Steve Arpin out of Fort Francis, Ontario. Right behind him, there's John Canta's 85 car. He comes to you out of Elk Mound. blue and yellow 85. 68 of Mike Prochnow, roll back to the racetrack right behind him. See, he works right through the middle of turns 1 and 2. There's Tyler Leach in the 05. Tyler made his super late model debut earlier this year. He ran the first couple of weeks of the Dirt Car Summer Nationals. Driver out of Great Falls, Montana in the 05. Probably call Sun River, Montana home, I guess, right outside of Great Falls. We'll go with Sun River. That's where the rest of the Leaches are from. 50 car, Gavin Terrace right behind him. Gavin from right here in New Richmond. 29F will be Dave Flynn, again, he driver out of Superior. In the 29. Danny Bargender, again behind the wheel of that 53 car. He's out of Chippewa Falls. Kate Nelson's 44, working down the front straightaway. Driver out of Hermantown, Minnesota in that 44. There's Jim Carlson. We had not yet seen him on the Speedway. Driver of that blue 7C car. He's out of Minneapolis in the 7C. And Chad Mater back onto the racetrack, driver out of Eau Claire in 55.
And Chris, real quick for viewers watching at home that may be wondering what the difference is between a Cedar Lake late model and a World of Outlaws late model, asking maybe why can't these guys run with the late models and just make it a big car count? Well, it's just different. Every time we come up here, right, a lot of these guys don't race with us. It's just a lot of differences in these late models, mainly in the engine package. With these guys, they allow a full aluminum block engines and they run a 1.2 restrictor plate. And these guys are about 700 horsepower. With the World of Outlaws, obviously we do allow some aluminum stuff, but mainly it's all steel stuff and a wide open motors, and we're almost 900 horsepower. So these guys definitely a bigger racetrack, more disadvantage for them, but they've still put on a great racetrack. But just for the fans wondering what the difference is between a Cedar Lake late model and a World of Outlaws late model.
Yeah, there's not a ton anymore, but you're exactly right. The engine package is we're in Waussota country. Cedar Lake isn't a Waussota track, but they use a bunch of the Waussota rules and then they adapt to some of the open engines with restrictor plates for sure.
Same suspension, same tires, all the same stuff, just those things are different.
New driver at the top of the speed charts, Mike Prochnow, 15.026, 15026 for Mike Prochnow. Steve Arpin, right back to the top of the speed chart, second with a 15.228. Cade Nelson, third, 15.419. Next group will roll to the racetrack, going to be the 11. Pat Dorr, driver from right here in New Richmond, as I said. He's got 325 career wins. A bunch of them have come right here, as he sits second on the all-time Cedar Lake win list behind the wheel of that Double One Express. The 11 car right behind him, against that'll be Lance Hofer. Behind the wheel of the black and white 11 car, he's out of Fountain City. Steve Larson has rolled back to the racetrack out of Cumberland in the 19. 61 of Jeff Keeney, back in the middle of the back straightaway, the all-black late model 61. There's Robbie Johnson right behind him in the 14. Cole Searing right there in the 10 car, making the long trip out of Huron, South Dakota, behind the wheel of that red and white number 10. Also on the back straightaway again, the black and white 99. That's Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin, Sawyer Specht. Sawyer Specht in the 99. Nick Panitsky, middle of the back straightaway in the 22. He's out of Lonsdale, Minnesota. 44, Daryl Nelson. He was here a couple of weeks ago for the annual Mater Memorial. He got into the wall really hard. Good to have Daryl back behind the wheel of his 44. Out of Hermantown, Minnesota. Jake Radetsky right behind him, out of Menominee in the 27. And another driver we did not see on the racetrack until right now. That's Rochester, Minnesota's Jordan Yagi. Jordan Yagi back with us in 77. Again, 43 cars. Majority will hot lap quickly. Several drivers choosing not to hot lap. Looking through my heat race lineup sheets here. We have not seen Gilbert, Minnesota's Jamie Lotiger. He's on the property. Have not seen Brandon, Minnesota's Blake Bolins. He's here. Checking to see if there's anybody else. We've got Wahpeton, North Dakota's Sean Meyer in the pit area. He's choosing not to hot lap. Dexton Cook is here out of Becker, Minnesota. He'll run both divisions. He's got two cars unloaded back there in the 78K. We have not seen Ashley Anderson on the racetrack. He's out of Elk Mound. He's on the property. Lance Matthews out of Winona is here in the 90. Adam Hensel, driver out of Baldwin in the 44 in the pit area. Rick Hannestead out of Boyceville, he is here. Have not seen Kevin Eder, driver out of Cameron in the 22E. Corey Brueggemann, the driver out of Stillwater in the 4. Or Sammy Mars, the driver out of Menominee in 28. Those cars also on the property to compete with the Cedar Lake late models here tonight. Hot lap session number 3, getting ready to crank up here at the Cedar Lake Speedway again. Mike Prochnow right now sits atop the speed charts, 15.026, 15026. Green-white checkered hot lap session once again for the Cedar Lake late models. We'll see how everybody shakes out when they come underneath Jeff Stacken's checkered flag here. Checkered flag out. Nick Panitsky sits atop the speed chart right now in the Cedar Lake late models. 14.718. 147.18 for Nick Panitsky. Jordan Yagi, Steve Larson, Sawyer Specht, and Lance Hofer. Right now the top 5 in speeds for the Cedar Lake late models in hot laps tonight. That should wrap it up. Hot lap session for the Cedar Lake late models will come to a conclusion. Rest of the drivers choosing not to hot lap tonight. They will, of course, run a complete racing program, heat races, last chance showdowns, and a feature a little bit later on here tonight. So the Cedar Lake cars will get ready for their heat races coming up after opening ceremonies. World of Outlaws late models getting ready to roll to the racetrack for their opening hot lap session as well.
Yeah, hot laps rolling onto the Speedway. 50 cars. Hey, average car count for this event, 47.76. So 50 cars is good. Back-to-back years in the 50s, and you gotta love it. Garrett Smith leads us onto the Speedway here for hot lap session number 1. Garrett Smith, 23 Outlaw starts, best finished second at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway back in 2021. Now in his 5th year behind the wheel of a super late model. In the 44, Chris Smokey Madden, 40 World of Outlaw victories for Madden, tied for 7th all-time. 325 Outlaw starts for Chris Madden.
Next driver you'll see rolling under the flag stand hails from just across the river, Lake Elmo, Minnesota's Matthew Larson in the newly skinned 8 car. Brand new wraps for both him and his dad here for Cedar Lake Speedway weekend. In the 8 car, the driver right behind him will be, actually right in front of him now, will be the 99. Dresden, Ohio's Devin Moran will work his way down the back straightaway in that white, blue, and silver 99.
The number 16, Tyler Bruning out of Decorah, Iowa. 170 Outlaw starts for Fear the Beard. Still looking for that first Outlaw win. Best finished second at Livonia back in 2021. There's the number 11 of Trevor Gundaker joining us at St. Charles, Missouri. A fun little rivalry happening between the Gundaker brothers and the twins of Amelia and Layla. We'll talk more about that later. Trevor Gundaker, best finished with the Outlaws 8th at 81 Speedway back in 2022 in his 25 Outlaw starts.
Next 2 cars you see working down the back straightaway, 74X, that's Bakersfield, California's Ethan Dotson. Behind the wheel, that ASD Motorsports 74X car, and the driver right behind him will race to his first career Dirt Car Summer Nationals Hell Tour Championship. That's Tanner English, driver out of Benton, Kentucky in 96.
Gorsuch Performance green flag is out.
Trey Mills on the racetrack as well. He works down the front straightaway. Last year's Herald and Review 100 champion. Driver to St. Augustine, Florida in the 14.
Trey Mills, very impressive, Chris. First time to the USA Nationals. Really looking forward to see what he can do. Of course, has led 87 laps combined in the Dirt Lake Model Dream and the Prairie Dirt Classic. Now trailing Dalton Wilson by 53 points in the MD3 Rookie of the Year point standings here in 2026. So Ethan Dodson right now at top of the charts. By the way, Chris, it pays to be the fastest in hot laps with the Outlaws. $200 today, because if they don't have the sticker, that money carries over. So it only counted on Friday for the World of Outlaws, because remember, your top 16 locked in didn't hot lap equally on Saturday. So Shannon Babb didn't have the sticker Friday, so therefore $200 tonight. If no one has the sticker tonight, it'll be $300 tomorrow. And right now, Ethan Dodson, top of the charts, 13.489. Let's remind the race fans that the track record here, Chris, set back on August 3rd, 2023 by Shannon Babb at a 12.950. So about half second off that track record right now, as Ethan Dodson's atop at a 13.489.
If you remember, that track record that Shannon Babb broke was a 2011 track record from Farley, Iowa's Jason Round. So it sat there for about 12 years before Shannon Babb broke it a couple of years ago here in 2023.
Kyle Strickler leads out hot lap session number 2, the driver to Mooresville, North Carolina, 2-time World of Outlaws feature winner. Of course, that at Volusia, both back-to-back, the Into Sunshine Nationals and the beginning of the Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals. Good to have him here this weekend. And there's Nick Anvilink. Nick Anvilink, 29 World of Outlaw starts, best finished 3rd at Outagamie back in 2020.
Next 2 cars working down the front straightaway, Clewiston, Florida's Eli Johnson rolling under the flag stand. That Clyde Johnson Contracting 55E for the driver out of South Florida. And right behind him will be Dennis Erb Jr., driver to Carpentersville, Illinois, as he works into turn number 1 in 28.
5 past champions of the USA Nationals here this weekend, and Bobby Pierce is one of them. He's won it twice, 2023 and 2024 for the driver to Oakwood, Illinois. Looking for his 60th World of Outlaws win, 59 right now. Bobby Pierce also has can make some history tonight, I should say. 16 wins on the year, Chris. 17, I should say. One more, that's 18, which is what Josh Richards and Brendan Shepard have done, and that's the season record. He can break that record this year with still a good handful to go.
Working down the back straightaway, we introduced you to Tyler Leach a moment ago. This is Sun River, Montana's Michael Leach, Tyler's older brother, in that Dust Pods 09 as he works his way into turn number 3. And Tristan Chamberlain right behind him, driver out of Richmond, Indiana. We talked about that Ronald McDonald House ramp on that 20TC. There you see it as he races into turn number 1.
Yep, and Dexton Cook in the number 78K out of Becker, Minnesota, pulling double duty. Joining us, we saw him at 141 Speedway, the 2025 Wasota Superstock National Champion, now in his first year in the Super Late Model. Which, by the way, did I say Outagamie? It's Outagamie, right?
It's Outagamie, yep.
Outagamie. Apology for everyone in Outagamie watching on DIRTVision. I was thinking about that in a hot lap session. I'm like, I think I mispronounced that. I did. Outagamie, I love that place. Anyway, hot lap session number 2 on the Speedway. Good to see a couple local guys here, Chris. Like, obviously, Nick Anvilink, right? He has dominated this area. You see Cook, his first year in a Super Late Model. Glad those guys come out here and elect to run with the Outlaws instead of the Lake Models.
Yeah, Dexton's going to do both. He unloaded 2 race cars back there, that Triple B Motorsports team. You mentioned he a rookie in the late models this year. Kyle Strickler has gone to the top of the speed charts, as you'll notice. 13.262 for the high side tickler here in 8.
Bobby Pierce second at a 13.347. Michael Leach third. Nick Anvilink fourth. And Ethan Dotson down to 5th. Next group getting ready to roll on to the Speedway. Currently second in the World of Outlaws point standings at Mooresville, North Carolina. The tie touring number 9, a Nick Hoffman. Hoffman looking for win number 18 of his career with the World of Outlaws. And also on the Speedway, not too far from here, out of Lakeshore, Minnesota, Dan Ebert, 6 Outlaw starts, best finish 6th right here back in 2025.
Dan Ebert, of course, longtime Wasota modified and late model competitor, having a great 2026 behind the wheel of that 60 car. Also on the racetrack, we talked about the twins a moment ago. Here's one of them, this one car. This is Fargo, North Dakota's Amelia Eisenshank behind the wheel of that Ellingson Shaw Trucking number 1 as she works her way into turn number 1. And right behind her, the 28. He'll do double duty tonight, of course. His dad, a former winner of this event. This is Menominee, Wisconsin, Sammy Mars in 28.
Out of Peru, Illinois, the number 75, Daniel Adam, 5 Outlaw starts, best finish 16th on 2 occasions, 2024 in Maquoketa and Swainsboro last year, now in his 4th year behind the wheel of a Super Late Model, and that's 75. Also on the Speedway, taking over the reins of the G.R. Smith Motorsports Team 22 Incorporated 22 star, that's Zach Mitchell, a World of Outlaws feature winner back in 2020 at Volunteer Speedway, looking to make his 24th start here tonight.
Last 2 cars you see in this hot lap session, 71 back behind the wheel of his primary 71 car this weekend. It's Martinsville, Indiana's Hudson O'Neill. He'll work down the back straightaway in the 71. And a 51 car joining us tonight, that is JT Wasmond. JT out of Rochester, Minnesota. He is the 2025 Tri-State Late Model Series champion behind the wheel of the 51W.
Rookie of the year that year too, right?
Yeah, sure
as
was.
a rookie and won the championship. Pretty impressive. Glad to have him here this weekend. 2 guys in this hot lap session, Chris, that stand out to me. Nick Hoffman finished 4th in the USA Nationals a year ago, and Hudson O'Neill finished 3rd in the SSI Motorsports car. Those 2 going to be fun, especially the performances that they put on last week at the PDC.
This is the first competitive laps for Hudson O'Neill on a brand new race car tonight as well. So he will shake that thing down tonight, see how he likes the new car.
We talked about the friendly competition happening between the Eisenshanks and the Gundakers. Of course, they're in the Fans Fun feature. We'll see that tomorrow. The team with the best average finish will win their little friendly rivalry happening. The ones that have the worst average finish are going to have to jump in the pond. That's going to be exciting. But Nick Hoffman now with the Dirt King Simulator's fastest hot lap, 13.224 for Nick Hoffman in the tie touring number 9, as Hoffman starting the weekend off strong. There's Ryan Gustin. Of course, Ryan Gustin's been really good as of late. Ryan Gustin, the defending USA Nationals champion, 9 straight top 10s in World of Outlaws competition. That's impressive considering the PDC is very hard to make, and to finish in the top 10, keeping that streak alive. 9th at the PDC. Ryan Gustin in that Cooney Motorsports number 19 on. When the big money's on the line, this team strikes. We'll see what they can do here this weekend. And Jason Fager to Bloomington, Illinois. Jason Fager,
Bloomington, Illinois, the 25. Joins us here, of course, thank you to Fans Fun as well and all the great fans that participated in that.
Two-time Hell Tour champion Jason Fager on the front stretch. Yes, check out this 19 car. He's an easy one to spot now. That thing is bright. A brand new wrap for Rochester, Minnesota's Dustin Sorensen, the Gift of Life Transplant House sponsorship and new wrap. We'll talk more about that throughout the weekend. A great story and a great cause that Dustin Sorensen Racing has teamed up with here for the USA Nationals, but a really cool looking race car for Rochester, Minnesota's Dustin Sorensen in the 19. Also on the racetrack, last year's Prairie Dirt Classic champion Brian Shirley rolling down the back straightaway, driver out of Chatham, Illinois in that Bob Cullen Racing 3S.
Also on the Speedway, you'll find now a four-time PDC champion, Brandon Shepard, second year back with Rocket One, and of course they are off the launching pad to say the least. Rocket One at the USA Nationals has been very successful. Davey Johnson won this in 2000, Josh Richards in the Rocket House car 2011 and 16, and then of course Brandon Shepard in 2018. We'll see what he can do. And Terry Casey in the 42 joins us. Terry Casey out of New London, Wisconsin, the 2008 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Rookie of the Year.
Mr. Excitement, Terry Casey.
Yes.
Two cars on the back straightaway. You'll find 17A car. That's Lewistown, Missouri's Austin Howes. Austin Howes, a regular competitor with the Dirt Car Summer Nationals the last couple of years. The driver out of Missouri. Also down the front straightaway with a 6 car. Ruben, it is Shark Week. It is the Shark.
Yes.
That is Clay Harris, driver out of Jupiter, Florida. Have you been to Jupiter, Florida? Jupiter, not quite as far south. Yeah, it is. It's as far south as Clewiston for sure.
Yeah.
Jupiter, nearly a suburb of Miami almost is.
It's 2 planets down the Milky Way.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, one more guy that sneaked on was Jake O'Neill in the 0. There he is in turn number 2. Jake O'Neill out of Tucson, Arizona, 3-time World of Outlaw feature starter. Best finished 7th at Deer Creek last year on July 4th. Deer Creek, he has a lot of racetracks around this place here with USMTS back in the day as well.
Yeah,
Jake O'Neill will be fun to watch.
Really, really well here in Ahmad for years and years for sure. The Arizona racer in 0.
So right now, Brian Shirley atop of the charts now with the Dirt King Simulator's fastest hot lap. Haven't seen a 12-second lap time yet, but hey, we're getting down there to the lower 13 seconds. It's a 13.201 for Brian Shirley. Nick Hoffman second quick at a 13.224. Daniel Adam third, Kyle Strickler fourth, and Brandon Shepard in fifth. Next group going to be led out by the 97 of Cody Overton of Thompson, Georgia. The Triple B Motorsports entry, Little Sexy. 86 World of Outlaw feature starts with the Outlaws. He's finished third 2 times. Volusia and Boot Hill looking for that first World of Outlaws win in the 97. Also down the back straightaway, the 21X, Joel Collins, now in his 13th year behind the wheel of a super late model at Princeton, Minnesota. 2 Outlaw starts, best finish 15th at Ogilvie Raceway back in 2019.
Next 2 cars you'll see, pair of semi-locals here to Cedar Lake. 19 car, that's Marshfield, Wisconsin's Tim Eisenberg. Eisenberg down the front straightaway in that CFR number 9. And the driver right behind him, I mentioned a new wrap on the Baby Bombers 8 car. There's also a new wrap on the B1 Bombers B1. That is Brent Larson, driver out of Lake Elmo, Minnesota, in that Land of Pressure Washers Hanco B1.
Yeah, 5-time track champion. He'll be fun to watch. Would be cool to see him get his first Outlaw win here this weekend. Right behind him, the 49, Jake Tim out of Winona, Minnesota. Now in his 7th year, hard to believe, already 7th year behind the wheel of a super late model. 80 Outlaw starts for him, best finish 5th at Norman County last year. And getting ready to get inducted into the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame next weekend, Shannon Babb out of Moweaqua, Illinois. Shannon Babb, 13 World of Outlaw feature wins in his 221 World of Outlaw starts for the 4-time Dirt Car Summer Nationals champion, 2014 Illini 100 champion, and the list goes on and on. Quite the resume for the Moweaqua Missile in the 18, Shannon Babb.
Couple more cars working through turns 1 and 2. The 90 car, that's the veteran Lance Matthews, driver out of Winona, Minnesota. He's going to run both divisions tonight as he typically does this weekend. This is not a paint scheme we've seen from Lance Matthews maybe ever. Very sharp looking black, white, and blue 94.
He unloaded a Mississippi Thunder earlier this year, and I was like, damn, Lance, you look fast.
It does. It looks
good.
Looks good. Brand new race car for Lance Matthews this year. Final driver on the racetrack, the 1Z car. That's Hookstown, Pennsylvania's Logan Zarin. Zarin down the front straightaway, the final car in this hot lap group in 1Z.
Those are all the drivers on the Speedway here in hot lap session number 5 of 6. Brian Shirley atop of the charts right now, 13.201. As you see Cody Overton on your screen, of course, prayers out to Mr. Trantina, and hopefully he's in a full recovery. And glad to have Cody Overton here this weekend. Glad to have Cook here this weekend, and Dan Ebert. A lot of good support from him here in the USA Nationals.
James was set to make his World of Outlaws debut tonight as well. It was his plan
Well, he raced with us at Ogilvy, yes. But his USA National, yes, there you go.
World of Outlaws debut, yes.
Yep.
Unfortunately, not able to be with us.
I'm sure he's watching on DIRTVision.
Oh, yeah.
So Brian Shirley stays atop of the charts here. Chris looks like Cody Overton, the quickest out of this group, but fourth quick overall at a 13.253 in the 97. Daniel Adam third, Nick Hoffman second, and Brian Shirley still atop of the charts. One more hot lap session before we get ready for Mark Martin Automotive Qualifying. One of the 5 USA National Champions competing here this weekend, Tim McCready out of Watertown, New York, winner of this event in 2013. T-Mac looking for win number 42 of his career with the World of Outlaws. Already 2 this season, Sealands Grove and Volusia. And also right behind him, a young driver that's really made a name for himself in his first year of the super late model, the 21-year-old Dallin Murdy out of Chelsea, Iowa. The Skyline Motorsports number 13, 10 Outlaw starts, best finish 6th, right down the road at 141 Speedway.
Next 2 drivers you'll see working through turns 3 and 4, 58B, that Big Frog Motorsports machine for Fayetteville, North Carolina's Dalton Wilson. Dalton Wilson working down the front straightaway in that 51V underneath the flag stand. And the 15 car, that's Fargo, North Dakota's Layla Eisenshank. Layla Eisenshank in the 15 as she works into turn number 1.
From Zeeland, Michigan, the 49, Luke Morey, third year behind the wheel of a super late model, former asphalt late model racer, 2022 Cars Tour Rookie of the Year, now in the dirt and enjoying it, getting a couple wins under his belt, 8 Outlaw starts, best finish 11th at Sanoa earlier this year with us, and also on the Speedway, the number 74, Mitch McGrath out of Waukesha, Wisconsin, 14 Outlaw starts, best finish at Shawano Speedway back in 2015 for the 74 of Mitch McGrath.
McGrath, one of only 3 drivers to complete the entire Hell Tour in 2026. Final 2 drivers on the racetrack. The 1 car, that's New Waverly, Texas racer Tyler Erb. Turbo working down the back straightaway in that Best Performance Motorsports number 1. And the final driver in this group, Gordy Gundaker. Gordy out of St. Charles, Missouri, had a great top 10 finish at PDC last weekend. The driver down the back straightaway in 11.
Yeah, Gordy finished 7th in the PDC. Actually, I gave him a little bit. I gave him a little bit of. I gave him a hard time earlier today. He came in and raced the Northern Swing with us. We have 24, 25 cars, and I'm like, Gordy, you couldn't even finish in the top 15 at those events, and you go to the PDC, the hardest event of the year, and you get a top 10. He's like, man, I know we couldn't line up in the Northern Swing, and they go and get a 7th place at PDC. I got to say, a good turnaround for that team. A really good run for Gordy Gundaker. They really needed that.
Final hot lap session on the clock, ready to go. Green flag will fly here for the final hot lap session of the night.
Yes, before these guys get ready to go into Mark Martin Automotive Qualifying, again, nothing from tonight's program affects them for tomorrow or Saturday. Today's just, call it a warm-up, right? Just a warm-up. It's a full show.
Complete separate show.
Yes, complete separate show. Tomorrow is where things get different, where we hot lap them, we qualify them, we run the heats, then the top 6 do the redraw, then they run a dash, and then we do the Fans Fun feature and all that fun stuff. And then, of course, the nerves are on Saturday where you do the LCSs, last chance, last call to get in, then the big driver intros in the 100-lap USA National. So we'll get more into that this weekend. Tonight, just the own separate show, 30-lap, 10,000 to win feature, a quick get up on the, elbows up and let's go. So right now, Shirley still at the top of the charts. Chris, track starting to slow down here.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of wheels have been on it here in the last half an hour or so. Nearly 100 late models have hot lapped around Cedar Lake. So hot lap session number 6 will wrap up, and like you said, Brian Shirley will end up at the top of the speed charts, 13.201.
Yep, so Brian Shirley, we will check if he has the decal Dirt King simulators, which, by the way, go to shopteam22.com right now. They're doing a great sale. Of course, normally Dirt King Simulator Fastest Hot Lap gets money, which they will if they have the sticker, but $10 shirts at shopteam22.com for Dirt King Simulator Hot Laps. Again, go to shopteam22.com. $10 shirt promo there, and we'll check if Shirley has the sticker. Looks like Hot Laps will be $300 tomorrow, Chris. So, all right, there you go. So, hey, go to shopteam22.com. $10 t-shirts. Of course, their simulator's not here since the departure of Drake Troutman. Scotty Parker, who runs the simulator, now on the team, hands-on down there in the pit area, so he's not able to do the simulator down in Venderos. Sorry, race fans. We promoted it all year on DIRTVision, but things change. But, hey, go to shopteam22.com. $10 t-shirts right there. We get ready for Mark Martin Automotive Qualifying here with the World of Outlaws late models presented by DIRTVision. Legendary racer Mark Martin brought his winning spirit home, founding Mark Martin Automotive in Batesville and Ash Flat, Arkansas. Ford, Chevy, GMC, the best selection in North Central Arkansas. Come see why they're driven to serve. Visit www.markmartinautomotive.com. And again, a big thank you to Mark Martin Automotive for providing us with this season's merch tow rig. Chris, by the way, former Dirt Late model driver Gavin Landers reached out to me, and hey, he's working full-time down there, and he said he's working full-time, ready to serve you guys. So if you know Gavin Landers, give him a call. He'll hook you up with a deal. I know people that have been shopping for cars that don't buy cars in their local dealership. They shop around the country and, hey, buy a one-way plane ticket and drive it back home because they got that good of a deal. So visit our friends at markmartinautomotive.com and give Gavin Landers a call. They'll get ready to take care of you. Support the ones that support racing, right, Chris?
Just going to say that. Support those that support us. While you fly down to Batesville to buy a car, check out Batesville Motor Speedway while you're there. Pick a weekend, go there, hang out with Mooney Star and everybody at Batesville, catch a race, buy a car, and drive her back on home.
Where would we fly in there? Batesville, right?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Fly into Batesville, go to Mark Martin Automotive, catch yourself a race.
Ash Flat, I don't know. There's got to be airports in a lot of those places.
Has to be there. So
Springfield, Missouri is not too far from the Arkansas border.
Yep, go see Jerry at Springfield Raceway.
Yes. I miss going there. We didn't get there. We got rained out with the Hell Tour there this year, so we didn't get to go to Jerry's Springfield Raceway. Excited to get back there next summer, though.
Oh, yeah, the Dirt Car Summer Nationals was entertaining if you fans caught it. A lot of good stuff, which, by the way, we obviously welcome Cedar Lake Speedway to DIRTVision, of course, home to America's premier tracks, and Cedar Lake Speedway, one of them now. I got to see the buses race earlier this year. That was intense. All right, Chris, we get ready. Mark Martin Automotive qualifying now. The number 10, Garrett Smith, leads us out of Eatonton, Georgia. The Atlanta Paving, G-Spot Incorporated, Cadillac Ranch, Garrett Smith Performance, VP Racing Fuels by Boswell Oil, Schaefer's Racing Oil, Chase Motorsports, VG Performance, Stanley's Painting, Longhorn, Vic Hill, number 10, and out there with them, the Dirt Car Summer Nationals champion at Benton, Kentucky, the Minnan Construction, C Motorsports, Bailey's Trucking, Supreme Enterprise, Rick's Fiber, M&M Painting and Construction, AK Race Car, Pro Built, number 96.
There we go. Garrett Smith's going to roll on by 13.701. 13.701 for Garrett Smith on lap number 1. Tanner English, he'll go faster. 13.439, 1.3439 for the Hell Tour champ. Checkered flag coming out. Here comes G-Spot Motorsports car. He does not go faster. 13.701 on lap number 1. Tanner English going to roll on by. He will also stand on lap number 1. Early time to beat's a 13.439 for that Mine and Construction. 96 for Tanner English.
Tanner English, obviously really good, strong summer. Really cool to see what that AK race car did over the summer, and will be fun to see what he does. Of course, last weekend was the first time we saw him since Charlotte last year when he and Coltman Farms split up. All right, up next, the 44, Chris Smoky Madden at a Great Court, South Carolina, the Wells Motorsports, Millwood Plumbing, Henderson Amusement, Convenient Loop, Stack Products, VP Racing Fuels, Hardison Suspension Technologies, Weir's Machine, Gorsuch Performance Products, All-Star Performance, Infinity House Car Clements, number 44, and the 16, Tyler Bruning at Decorah, Iowa, the Skyline Motorsports, Bruning Rock Products, Quick Supply Company, Truck Country, JW Bell, Brown's Heavy Equipment, Murdy Farms, Longhorn Clements, number 16.
Chris Madden will roll by second quick on his opening lap, 13.463, 1.3463. Here comes Tyler Bruning. He'll be third quick, 13.535, 1.3535 for Tyler Bruning. Here comes Smokey. Chris Madden down the front straightaway. Does not go any faster. He'll stay second, 13.463. Bruning will roll on by in that 16 car. He will also stand in his opening lap. Everybody so far fastest on lap number 1. Still Tanner English, 13.439.
Next two drivers, you'll get ready to see the number 8 of Matthew Larson. He joins us from right down the road out of Lake Elmo, Minnesota. The Fuel Factory, Hanco Corporation, TS Warehouse, Longhorn Pro Power, number 8 of the Baby Bomber, Matthew Larson. And the 14, Trey Mills, MD3 Rookie of the Year contender out of St. Augustine, Florida. The Mills Concrete, Coltman Farms Racing, Bill Stein, H&R Race Engines, FK Roddins, BP Racing Fuels by Boswell Oil, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, Quartermaster, Wiles Drive Shaft, Swift Springs, Sweet Manufacturing, Longhorn Clements, number 14.
The Baby Bomber and the Future, both on the clock right now. Matthew Larson, of course, his dad, a multi-time track champion. Here comes Matthew. Matthew Larson will roll across, 14.082. 14.082 for Matthew Larson on lap number 1. Here comes Trey Mills. Mills down the front straightaway in the 14. Where does he land in the opening lap? It'll be fifth quick, 13.923. 1.3923 for Trey Mills. Matthew Larson's second lap. Does he go better? He does. 13.903. First driver to improve on lap number 2 tonight. He'll move up to fifth quick. Trey Mills down the front stretch. Can he go faster? He does. 13.693. 136.93 for Trey Mills. Good enough for fourth quick on lap number 2.
Really impressive stuff what he's done this year, leading 87 laps combined in the PDC and the Dirt Late Model Dream. We get ready for the next two competitors. You'll find the number 99, Devin Moran out of Dresden, Ohio. The Double Down Motorsports, Millwood Plumbing, Big River Steel, C&W Trucking, Phillips CPA Firm, CarSourceAuto.com, Haven Services, Bomax Southeastern, Elliott Farms, McHugh's, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Longhorn, Cornet Clements, number 99, and Ethan Dotson. Out of Bakersfield, California, the ASD Motorsports, Jarrett Rifles, North Augusta Customs, XL Flooring, Taco John's, Brad Benton Trucking, BK Grading and Paving, Olin Shocks for Longhorn Dynamics, Contractor Services of Aiken, Boswell Oil, Precise Seal Coating, Turco Racing Oils, Longhorn Clements, number 74X.
Devin Moran down the front straightaway, fourth quick in the opening lap, 13.604. 136.04 for Dresden, Ohio's Devin Moran. Here comes the 74. Ethan Dotson, lap number 1 will go fifth quick, 13.663. 136.63 for Dotson. Moran a little bit cross up there off turn number 4. He will not improve. He'll stay fourth quick on lap number 1. Here comes the 74X one more time. Dotson down the front straightaway. Dotson fifth quick on the opening lap. He'll stay fifth quick in 74X.
Tanner English still atop of the charts right now, 13.439 if it's your first Outlaw event. Group A qualifying for starting spots in heats 1 and 2, so the top 4 automatically in a front row of the first 2 heats of the night. Tanner English has the pole for heat 1, Madden has the pole for heat 2, then Bruning and Moran fill to the outside at the moment. But we are only 8 of 25 in, and up next we continue on with Trevor Gundaker to St. Charles, Missouri. The Woody Bogler Trucking, Advanced Racing Suspensions, Ted Brown's Quality Paint and Body Shop, Kaiser Manufacturing, Performance Bodies, St. Louis Screw and Bolt, Fast One Speed Shop, King Coatings, High Caliber Graphics, Longhorn Pro Power number 11. And in the number 15A, that's going to be Nick Anvilink out of Navarino, Wisconsin. The Soybert Camp Ranches, Club 117 Bar and Grill, DTR Concrete, PTS Contractors, Dump and Go Dumpster Rentals, Shanks Hardwood Solutions, Dan Nolan Livestock, Ricky Lemon Trucking, Precise Construction Services, MB Custom Competition Specialist number 15 for Nick Anvilink.
Trevor Gundaker, 9th quick, 14.409 on lap number 1 in the 11 car. Comes Anvilink. He'll now go 9th. It'll be a 14.065. For him. T-Rev gonna roll off turn number 4. He'll go faster. 10th quick though, 14.277. 142.77 for Trevor Gundaker. Comes Anvilink. Anvilink does not improve. He'll stay 9th quick though with a 14.065 on lap number 1.
So Tanner English, Chris Mann, and Tyler Bruning, Devin Moran, the top 4 here early in Group A. Mark Martin Automotive qualifying. Up next, we get ready to see the 2-time USA Nationals champion and the current World of Outlaws point leader out of Oakwood, Illinois. The Low Voltage Solutions, Churchill Transportation, Cullen Brothers Towing, Rio Grande Waste Services, Pontiac RV, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Carnegie Towing, Fort Knox Safe and Bolt, Steininger Construction, River Bottom Dog Training and Precision Cabinets, Longhorn Vic Hill 32 of Bobby Pierce, and Kyle Strickler out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The G-Style Transport, Cat Industries, WL Marion Plumbing, Donaldson Grading, Jerovitz Motorsport Shock Service, Andy's Towing, Flow Coating, Pro Fabrication, Bill Stein, AK Race Car, Clements Power, number 8 of Kyle Strickler.
Here comes Pierce, white flag coming out. He'll go 8th quick, 13.759. 137.59 for Bobby Pierce. Kyle Strickler 12th, 14.403. 144.03. Pierce in that 32, working off turn number 4. Checkered flag coming out. Can he improve on lap number 2? He will not. He'll stay 8th quick with a 13.759 on lap number 1. Strickler, does he go faster? He also will stand in his opening lap of a 14.403. So Tanner English, Chris Madden, Tyler Bruning, Devin Moran, and Ethan Dotson still the top 5 as we continue on with qualifying.
Yeah, next to qualifiers, you'll get ready to see Tristan Chamberlain. He joins us out of Richmond, Indiana. The Gibson Racing Ronald McDonald House, Vision Woodworks, Vision Homes, DC Fabrication, Pardos Towing Service, Burke Transmission, FK Roddins, Penske, VP Racing Fuel, Simpson, Truman Quarter Horses, Longhorn Spec number 20 TC, and Michael Leach joining us from Sun River, Montana. The Dust Pods, Willow Ranch, Rowdy Mood Hat Company, Longhorn Dynamics, Olins, Longhorn Durham number 09.
Both drivers on the clock. A couple of young drivers working their way around Cedar Lake Speedway. Tristan Chamberlain getting ready to roll off turn number 4, lap number 1. Richmond, Indiana's Tristan Chamberlain, 9th quick into the top 10, 13.817, 13817 for Tristan. Comes Michael Leach down the front straightaway in the 09 as well. Leach will go 10th quick, 13.849, 13849 for Michael Leach. Chamberlain lap number 2. Does he go faster? He does not, but he'll stay 9th quick. Lap number 1, his best of 2. Here comes Leach. Michael Leach also standing on his opening lap of a 13.849. 10th quick for the Montana racer in 09.
We get ready to see the next two roll onto the speedway. You'll find the number 78K, that's Dexton Cook out of Becker, Minnesota, the Collins Brothers Towing. Code Red Reynolds, Twin Cities Wrecker Sales, Granite City Motor Car, Amsoil, Speedworks, American Racing Wheels, Momentum Truck Group, Ice Road Reynolds, Clearwater Auto Parts and Salvage, GMR Recycling, Rocket Pro Power at number 78K, and Dennis Erb Jr. to Carpentersville, Illinois. The McBride Mac, Vomac Truck Sales, 5-Star Race Car Bodies, Fox Shocks, Riverton Party Store, VP Racing Fuels, PRC, Dundee Heating and Air Conditioning, Colin Signs, Rocket Clements, number 28.
Dexton Cook, late model rookie in 2026. Obviously a long-time Wissota Superstock competitor. Won the Month of Money Superstock race here a couple of weeks ago. 12th quick, 14.014. 14014 for Dexton Quick. Dennis Erb Jr. now 11th fast, 13.868. Cook now down the front straight away in the 78K. Lap number 2, can he improve? He'll stay 13th, 14.014. 14014 for Dexton Cook. Dennis Erb Jr. does not go faster either. He'll stay 11th quick from lap number 1 at 13.868 for Dennis Erb Jr. in 28.
So Tanner English, the top of the charts, 13.439 over Chris Madden, Tyler Bruning, and Devin Moran, the top 4 at the moment. Just a handful to go. 17 of 25 have qualified here in Mark Martin Automotive Qualifying Group A. We get ready to see the number 60, Dan Ebert, joining us from Lakeshore, Minnesota, and the Collins Brothers Towing of St. Cloud, Minnesota Truck Headquarters, Woody's Racing, Christensen Group Insurance, Amsoil, Fox Shocks, Peterson Farms, Rob Mueller. Actually, it's going to be the number 55, Eli Johnson out there. Sorry, Eli Johnson out of Clewiston, Florida, the Clyde Johnson Contracting and Roofing, Performance Napa, Total Claim Source, 7 Peak Steel, Michael Johnson Productions, number 55, then Dan Ebert in the 60 out of Lakeshore, as I mentioned, Collins Brothers Towing of St. Cloud, Minnesota Truck Headquarters, Woody's Racing, Christensen Group Insurance, Amsoil, Fox Shocks, Peterson Farms, Rob Mueller Electric, number 60, Rocket Durham.
Ebert's there. You were just a little early. We're good. A little eager to get Dan Ebert on the racetrack, as was he. Down the front straight away, Eli Johnson, 15th quick, 14.104. 14104. Ebert will be 12th quick in the opening lap, 13.899. 138.99 for Dan Ebert. Here comes the Floridian Eli Johnson. He'll go faster. 14.017. 14017 for Eli, the 60 of Ebert. He'll roll on by 6th quick. How about that second lap for Dan Ebert? He'll go from 12th to 6th. 13.685. 13685. That's 6th quick for Dan Ebert, 60.
And Chris, only 5 of the 18 guys that have qualified have taken their second lap, and he made the best of it, and he's actually the best out of the 5 out of the drivers that have taken their second lap. 6th quick, good lap for him. Up next, Nick Hoffman out of Mooresville, North Carolina, the Ty Toric NOS Energy Drink, C&W Trucking, Lone Wolf Petroleum, Holdren Construction, Remtech Industries, Petroff Towing, Bilstein, Tri-Valley Equipment, Ty Toric Performance Parts, Longhorn Clements number 9, and Sam Mars out of Menominee, Wisconsin, the Vite Companies, Dempy Enterprises, TL Sense Plumbing, Army Contractors, Accurate Construction, Key, Chevytown, Midstate Hydraulics, Shackleton Tree Service, Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning, number 28.
Hoffman gonna roll on by. He'll go 14th quick in the opening lap, 13.916. 13916 for Nick Hoffman. Here comes Sammy Mars. He'll work down the front straight away in the 28. Sammy Mars 17th quick, 14.039, 14039. Hoffman better into the top 10. 13.812, 13812. Hoffman's best of 2. Sam Mars down the front straight away to the checkered. Mars will go faster on lap number 1, so he'll stand on that with a 14.039.
20 of 25 have qualified, and we just got 5 to go here in Mark Martin Automotive Qualifying Group A. You'll find Hudson O'Neill and the SSI Motorsports, O'Neill Salvage and Recycling, Big River Steel, Professional Concrete Cutting and Drilling, Indiana USSSA Fast Pitch, Wiles Drive Shaft, Wheeler Metals, 7 Spurs Ranch, Merle Bonding, Penske, Lionel Contracting, Midwest Sheet Metal, Longhorn Clements, number 71, and the 22-star Zach Mitchell out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, the GR Smith Motorsports, Team 22 Incorporated, Victory Circle Auto Sales, Gambler Transport, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Brickhouse Tavern, Lake House Wine Bar and Grill, Unified Electrical Services, number 22 star.
Good pair here. Hudson O'Neill, lap number 1, 5th quick, 13.638. 13638 for Hudson O'Neill. Here comes the 22 star. 19th quick for Zach Mitchell. 14.052, 14052 on lap number 1. Huddy trying to go better. He does not, but obviously lap number 1 good enough for a top 5 run right now. 13.638 for O'Neill. Zach Mitchell going to work on by. He'll go faster. 13.963, 13963 for the South Carolina racer Zach Mitchell in 22 star.
Up next, you'll find the 51W JT Wasman out of Rochester, Minnesota now in the Med City Painting and Decorating, Grow Source, A&A Electric and Underground Construction, Island Tool and Die, Pine Island Lumber, Apex Construction, Jackson Chiropractic, Bear Graphics, Longhorn by Sorensen, Pro Power, number 51W, and the 75 Daniel Adam out of Peru, Illinois in the Hoker Trucking, RLM Enterprises, Elliott Concrete, C&J Trucking, Justin L. Langdon Electrical, Spiffy's Automotive and Car Wash, Allen Automotive, Shepherd Synthetics, American Racing Rims, Will Harris Trucking, Rocket Pro Power, number 75.
Here we go. Both drivers ready to work down the front straightaway. Late model rookie a year ago. JT Wasman will go 21st quick. 14.101, 14101 for JT. Daniel Adam down the front straightaway. 22nd quick. 14.202. So 21st and 22nd respectively here on lap number 1. See if either driver can improve on lap number 2. Wasman will stay 21st quick. Daniel Adam will work down the front straightaway. He will go faster. 14.129, 14129 for Daniel Adam in 75.
So one qualifier to go, and right now it's Tanner English, Chris Madden, Tyler Bruning, Devin Moran, the top 4. And final car in Group A, we'll get ready to see Fargo, North Dakota's Amelia Eisenshank. Amelia and the Jordow General Equipment, Ellingson, O'Day Tank and Steel, DKW Trucking, Petro, Stopping Centers, Shots Crossroads, Shot Trucking, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Longhorn Durham number 1E. Amelia, we saw her earlier this year on the Northern Swing, made some features, and hey, third year on and off in a super late model, of course still doing sprint car racing as well, 410s, and good to have them in the late models here, Chris.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They get around this place pretty good as well. White flag coming out. It's Eisenshank, 14.363, 143.63 for Amelia on lap number 1. She works down the back straight away into turn number 3. Final lap of the final qualifier in Group A tonight. It's Amelia Eisenshank to the checker. Does she go faster? She does. 14.231, 14231 for Amelia Eisenshank's second lap, the better of the two.
No one's going to stop him. Tanner English, quickest in Group A at a 13.439. As we take a look at the DIRTVision replay here, Tanner English laying it down, 13.439 for the Dirt Car Summer Nationals champion, who have the front row of the opening heat of the night with a 16 to Tyler Bruning, and the front row for heat race number 2, Chris Madden and Devin Moran. We commence Group B. Jason Fager up first out of Bloomington, Illinois, the Titan Industries, SC Online Sales, Remtech Industries, Rosser Battery, Hoker Trucking, VP Racing Fuels, Weir's Machine, Longhorn Clements number 25, and Jake O'Neill out of Tucson, Arizona, the Red Eye Radiator, Texas General Mechanical, Hodges Farming and Dredging, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Recourse Centers, Go Lithium, Fast Shaft Stack Products, Longhorn Vic Hill Clements number 0 for Jake O'Neill.
Comes Jason Fager, the high side hustler, lap number 1, 14.032, 14032 for Jason Fager. Jake O'Neill will roll down the front straightaway. He'll be faster, 13.774, 13774. It's a really good first lap for Jake O'Neill. Comes a 25 of Fager. Does he go better? He does. 13.915. 13915 for Fager. Can Jake O'Neill go even faster on lap number 2? He does not, but lap number 1, good enough for the top of the speed charts early here in qualifying Group B with a 13.774.
That's the early time to beat here in Mark Martin Automotive qualifying Group B. Up next, you'll find Brian Shirley, the 4-time Dirt Car Summer Nationals champion out of Chatham, Illinois. The Bob Cullen Racing, Thomas & Express, Hoker Trucking, J&J Ventures Gaming, KBC Graphics, Allgaier Performance Parts, J&E Construction, Cheap Cars, Ted Brown's Quality Paint and Body Shop, Midwest Sheet Metal, VP Racing Fuels, Longhorn Durham number 3S, and the 19, Dustin Sorensen out of Rochester, Minnesota. The Altenberg Construction, Gift, the Life Transplant House, Paulson Rock Products, J&S Repair, JCB Equipment, Rochester Chevrolet, 63 Club, Yegi Trucking, CBR Drilling, Olins by Longhorn Dynamics, Heavy Hitch, Redline Oils, Longhorn Pro Power number 19.
Lap 1 for Squirrel, second quick, 13.796. 137.96 for Brian Shirley. Here comes Dustin Sorensen. Sorensen down the front straightaway in the 19. He'll work by. It'll be a 14.821, 148.214. Dustin Sorensen. Shirley trying to go better. He does not. 13.796 officially on lap number 1, his best of 2. Sorensen going to work down the front straightaway here. Checkered out for the Rochester, Minnesota racer. He will go faster. Third quick for Dustin Sorensen. 13.883.
Sorensen, of course, 5 of the last 8 with the Outlaws top 10s, got third in the 2024 USA Nationals. We'll see what he could do this weekend. Up next, Terry Casey in the 42. Good to have Terry Casey here to New London, Wisconsin, the Custom Fabricating and Repair. Riverside Tool and Carbide, Casey's Trucking Equipment, Longhorn Clements number 42, and 17A Austin Howes out of Lewistown, Missouri. He's in the H&R Enterprise, On Track Nutrition and Fitness, Rocket Chassis Pro Power number 17A.
Mr. Excitement, Terry Casey, back behind the wheel full-time in 2026. He was here a couple of weeks ago for the Mater Memorial. Down the front straightaway, New London, Wisconsin's Terry Casey will come to the white, see where he stacks up here on lap number 1. Casey will be a 14.215, 14215 for Casey. Austin Howes down the front straightaway in the 17A. He'll roll on by as well. It'll be a 14.451, 144.514 for Austin Howes. Casey down the front straightaway. Does he go better on lap number 2? He does. Faster, 14.214, 14214 for Terry Casey. Austin Howes also faster on lap number 2. It's a 14.286, 14286 for Austin Howes in 17A.
Up next, the defending USA Nationals champion. Out of Marshalltown, Iowa, the Cooney Motorsports, Hoker Trucking, Custom Fabricating and Repair, Carl Chevrolet, Allen Seamless Gutters, Murdy Farms, Base Racing Fuels, Mel Hamilton Ford Racing, Mike Jergens Enterprises, Tire Demon by Tim Love, Dynamic Drivelines, Peak Decals, Midwest Sheet Metal Bill Stein, Infinity, Vic Hill, J. Dickens, number 19R for Ryan Gustin, and Clay Harris out of Jupiter, Florida, the Wilkerson Farms Racing, Done Right Construction, Fragile X Awareness, Boswell Oil, Impact Electric, Universal Cabling Systems, National Peanut Federation, and Growers Irrigation, Longhorn, Scott Bailey powered, number 6.
Here comes the Reaper down to the white flag. Ryan Gustin, lap number 1, 5th quick, 13.939. 13939. Clay Harris down the front straightaway in the 6. He'll come across 8th quick, 14.308. 14308 for the Florida driver. Ryan Gustin down the front straightaway. Gustin faster on lap number 1, 13.939. Officially will be his lap of record in the 19R. 6 of Clay Harris, lap number 2, not quite as good. 14.304, 14304, officially better on lap number 1 for Clay Harris in 6.
So right now, Jake O'Neill atop of the charts here in Mark Martin Automotive Qualifying Group B at a 13.774. Over Brian Shirley, Dustin Sorensen, and Jason Fager. Up next, Brandon Shepard out of New Berlin, Illinois, the 2018 USA Nationals champion. In the Valvoline, Cerbert Camp Ranches, Franklin Enterprises, Petroff Towing, Fox Shocks, Ace Metalworks, Performance Grading, Gunners, Honey Styles, Marine TNT Industrial Supply, Collin Brothers Towing, Kaiser Manufacturing, Rocket Durham number 1, and Cody Overton out of Thompson, Georgia. In the Triple B Motorsports, Collins Brothers Towing, M&M Painting and Construction, Granite Hauling and Grading, M&S Concrete, Budweiser, Triple Electric, S&S Fishing and Rental, Boswell Oil, Kicklighter Company, Longhorn Clements, number 97.
Good pair here we go. Brandon Shepard down the front straightaway. It'll be 6th quick, 14.021. 14021 for B. Shep. Here comes a little sexy Cody Overton. He'll now go 6th quick, 14.013. Nearly identical lap times between the pair on lap number 1. B. Shep down to the checkered off turn 4. Shepard, quick time! 13.650. 13650 for Brandon Shepard. Cody Overton faster as well, 13.883. 13883 for Cody Overton, but Brandon Shepard to the top of the speed chart in Group B with a 13.650.
Up next, Tim Eisenberg out of Marshfield, Wisconsin. The Custom Fabricating and Repair, Capital Signs, Advanced Process Solutions, Infinity, Vic Hill, number 19, the 21X. That's going to be Joel Collins. He joins us from Princeton, Minnesota. The Team Zero Race Car, Mullins Powered, Soil and Ag Solutions, Sabre, Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Holcomb Trucking, Nelson Recycling, Barry's Properties, Young Fitness, Solo Auto Works, and David Ray Engineering, sponsored, number 21X.
Joe Collins, local driver from right across the border in Minnesota. And Tim Eisenberg, a couple hours to the east of here in Marshfield. Lap number 1, 8th quick, 14.161. 14161 for Tim Eisenberg in the 9th. Here comes Joe Collins. Collins will work down the front straight away. 12th quick, 15.167. 15167 for Collins. Tim Eisenberg, better, 14.142. 14142 for Tim Eisenberg on lap number 2. The 9T car, Ian Collins. Working down the front straightaway, he'll improve as well. Lap number 2 is better, 15.033, 15033 for Joe Collins in 21X.
So it's Shepard atop of the charts, 13.650 over Jake O'Neill, Brian Shirley, Dustin Sorensen after 12. Just about halfway here, 12:25 qualified. Up next, we get ready to see the 1Z Logan Zarin at a Hookstown, Pennsylvania MD3 Rookie of the Year contender in the All-American Framer, Brandon's Lawn and Landscape, Global Enterprise, Valvoline, Napa Auto Parts, Zarin Truck and Auto, Wedge Motorsports, VG Performance, Close Racing Supply, Point Spring and Drive Shaft, Longhorn Durham, number 1Z, and Jake Tim out of Winona, Minnesota in the Gorilla Mill, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Oak Ridge Fabrication, Orman's HVAC, on-demand shirts, Rush Race Gear by Austin Witt, Stone Machinery, Willie's Carbon Dyno, Swift Springs, Longhorn Cornet, 49.
Logan Zarin into the top 10, 9th quick, 14.210, 14210 for Logan Zarin. It comes Jake Tim, he's 8th quick, 14005, 14005 for Jake Tim. Sarin down the front straightaway, the 1Z. He'll work down the front stretch. Can he go faster? He does not. He'll stay 10th quick, 14201 on lap number 1. Jake Tim on lap number 2. Better, 4th quick for Jake Tim, 13849. 13849, good enough for 4th quick right now for Jake Tim in 49.
Up next, out of Lake Elmo, Minnesota, the Land of Pressure Washers, Fuel Factory, Hanco Corporation, T-Peck, The Real Cafe, TS Warehouse, Longhorn, Vic Hill, number B1. It's Brent Larson. And now the Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer out of Winona, Minnesota, the Yagi Specialized Transportation, Wilson Racing Fuel, Joe Provo Raceware, Tim Logan Racing, CME Electric, River City Manufacturing, Big Macs Fishing Hounds, Rick's Auto Body, Mob Boss Cigars, Superior Lanes, Lochner Law, Bayman Law, and 5 West Hair Saloon, Longhorn Clements, number 90, the Gambler, Lance Matthews.
Oh yeah, pair of Minnesota drivers on the clock right now. Yes, sir. Biggest cheer we've ever heard here at Cedar Lake when he won a heat race a couple of years ago at this event. Here comes a B1 Bomber. It'll be 8th quick, 13927, 13927 for Brent Larson in the B1. Lance Matthews will roll on by. It'll be 14432. Marson Smoke out of the back end of the B1 Bomber. He's only going to get 1 lap here as back to the pit area will go Brent Larson. Here comes Matthews. Lance Matthews trying to improve on lap number 2. He does. 15th quick, 14351. 14351 for Lance Matthews on lap number 2. Incidentally, Brent Larson's first lap good enough for 8th quick for the B1 Bomber in the B1.
So we're going to hold the next 2. We'll have Maddie Watkins, our World of Outlaws safety official, over here to look at turns 3 and 4. Of course, we saw smoke billowing from the B1 of Brent Larson, just making sure there's no fluids on the speedway here and making sure the racetrack's okay. So we'll hold the next 2 for a few moments. That's unfortunate for Brent Larson, Chris, because, of course, this is a racetrack that he has a lot of confidence at. Mississippi Thunder, he was running in the top 3 there, and there's another racetrack that, he could get his first Outlaw win. He's finished 2nd here before with the Outlaws. We'll see what that team can salvage for the night. Up next, Shannon Babb and the 18 out of Mowequa, Illinois. The Dynagro Seed, Petrov Towing, CGI Piping and Fabrication, Donnelly Trucking, Getting Lawn Care and Landscaping, Douglas Dodge Ram, VP Racing Fuels, Keeper Ultra Oil, Longhorn, Vic Hill, number 18, and the one at Turbo, Tyler Erb out of New Waverly, Texas, the Best Performance Motorsports, Bulk Material Live First Class Septic, Roberts B Company, Paul Construction, number 1.
Shannon Babb, 9th quick on the opening lap, 13935, 13935 for Shannon Babb. Here comes Turbo. Turbo down the front stretch, 8th quick, 13922, 13922 for Tyler Erb. Shannon Babb down the front straightaway, better into the top 7, 7th quick, 13884. 13884 for the Mowequa Missile. One more time for Uncle T. Tyler Erb, 2nd quick, 13742. 13742, good enough for 2nd fast for Tyler Erb in 1.
Finished 3rd at the USA Nationals in 2022. Turbo knows how to get around this joint. We'll see what he can do here tonight. Up next, Gordy Gundaker to St. Charles, Missouri. The JB Salvage, Hoker Trucking, Vanilla Cycles, Rockwell Security, Ted Brown's Quality Paint and Body Shop, Kaiser Manufacturing, McKay Corporation, K1 Race Gear, St. Louis Screw and Bolt, RLM Enterprise, Longhorn Clements, number 11, and the number 15, Layla Eisenschenk out of Fargo, North Dakota. The Jerdau, General Equipment, Ellingson, O'Day Equipment, DKW Trucking, Petro, Stopping Centers, Shots Crossroads, Longhorn Pro Power, number 15.
See what happens here. Comes the lowrider. Corey Gundaker down the front straightaway, 18th quick, 14635, 14635. Layla Eisenschenk, 17th quick, 14374, 14374. Gundaker off lap number 2. See what this is for the 11. Corey Gundaker, better, 14162, 14162 for Gordy. Better for Layla as well, 14323, 14323 for Layla Eisenschenk in 15.
Up next, the number 74, Mitch McGrath, joining us from Waukesha, Wisconsin, and the Culvers of Waukesha. Gary Bellman Trucking, Source Services, Belling Racing Equipment, VG Performance, Longhorn Pro Power, number 74. And out there with them, the number 13, Dallin Murdy out of Chelsea, Iowa. The Skyline Motorsports, Bruning Rock Products, Stout Oil Well Services, Quality Services, Murdy Farms, Cash Money Motorsports, Fast Shafts, Quick Supply Company, Truck Country, JW Bell, Brown's Heavy Equipment, Hovden Oil, Olson Explosives, Penske, Longhorn Clements, number 13.
Mitch McGrath, as we said before, fresh off a complete Hell Tour run, ran them all. This year did Mitch McGrath as he works down the front straightaway, 74. He'll go 14075, 140.75 for Mitch McGrath. Here comes the game changer, Dallin Murdy. Murdy down the front straightaway, 6 quick. Good first lap, 13.853. 138.53 for Murdy. 74, Mitch McGrath. Can he go better? He does not. He'll stay on his 14.075 from lap number 1. Murdy off turn 4. Dallin Murdy stays 6 quick. Good first lap. Good enough for 6. 13.853. 138.53 for Dallin Murdy in 13.
So still Brandon Shepard, Tyler Erb, Jake O'Neill, Brian Shirley, the top 4 here with just 2 qualifiers to go in Mark Martin Automotive qualifying Group B. As we get ready to introduce you to the next 2, the 2013 USA Nationals champion Tim McCready out of Watertown, New York, the Dave Warren Power Sports, Corey Rubber Corporation, Excess Storage, Johnstown Hydraulics, One Rail, Sherlock Ventures, Flawless Roofing, Trans 58, Briggs Transport, Clyde Johnson Contracting and Roofing, Longhorn Clements number 9, and the number 49, that is going to be Luke Morey out of Zeeland, Michigan, the Coleman Farms Racing, MPM Marketing, Bill Stein, Ferris Commercial Mowers, Autism Awareness, Special Needs School of Gwinnett, Longhorn Clements number 49.
Luke Morey coming off a great 2026 Dirt Car Summer Nationals debut. Here comes Tim McCready. McCready down the front straightaway in the 9, lap number 1, 7th quick. Good first lap there, 13.882. 138.82 for T-Mac. Here comes Morey. 14.286. 142.86 for Luke Morey. Tim McCready working off turn number 4, checkered in the air for T-Mac. He'll stand on his 13.882 from lap number 1. Luke Morey down the front straightaway in the 49. He will stand on his 14.286 from lap number 1 as well. One more qualifier to go, trying to get to Brandon Shepard's 13.650.
Yes, and that's Dalton Wilson, your current MD3 Rookie of the Year point leader out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. The Big Frog Motorsports and Transportation, Viper Risk Management, King Risk Partners, Base Racing Fuel, Ocala Restaurant and Supply, New Point Lighting and Design, Innovative Community Solutions, B&L Construction, Sun State Traffic Control Services and Equipment Holdings, Dave's Towing and Recovery, Velocity Manufacturing, Schaefer's Racing Oil, and Performance Bodies, Longhorn Clements number 58V, Dalton Wilson.
Final qualifier of the night, that Big Frog Motorsports 58. Down the back straightaway, Dalton Wilson all to himself here around the high banks of the Cedar Lake Speedway. White flag in the air. Wilson lap number 1, 14.200. 14.200 for Dalton Wilson. Down the back straightaway, trying to get to a 13.650. Brandon Shepard off turn number 4 will wrap up qualifying here off turn 4. Dalton Wilson to the checkered. Better on lap number 2. Will come across 15th quick with a 14.089 on lap number 2.
So that's going to do it for Group B. Brandon Shepard will have the quick time in Group B, 13.650. He'll have the front row with the 0 at Jake O'Neill, and the final heat of the night will be Tyler Erb and Brian Shirley. But race fans, tonight's overall quick time qualifier for the 5th time in his career with the World of Outlaws. You look at the DIRTVision replay. In the 96, Tanner English, the Dirt Car Summer Nationals champion, downstairs with Peyton Williams. Peyton, I mentioned it last week at PDC. I was really excited to see Tanner English for the first time with the Outlaws this year since the departure last year at the end of Charlotte with Coleman Farms Racing. And man, he has shown a lot of speed.
That he has, Ruben, a very busy man in the summer of 2026. The Hell Tour champion, you parlay that with a couple of strong runs with the Outlaws. Quick time tonight, obviously in Group A, but the overall quick time. Is this race car where you need it to return to Outlaw Victory Lane?
I think it is. That's why we came out here. I wouldn't have came out here if I didn't think we could win this deal. So I'm happy to be here. I love this place. We've had a history of pretty good runs here. So like I said, happy to be here. Car's running great. Motor's running great. Pretty stuck right there. So, I mean, it had a lot to do with pill draw, of course, but I'll take it any day.
Chris, you've seen this man in Victory Lane quite a few times over the course of this summer, the past few weeks. Now he's quick time with the Outlaws tonight, trying to return to Victory Lane since Highland last year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He had a great 2026 Hell Tour, and he's kicked off USA Nationals weekend with a great qualifying effort as well. First, Cedar Lake Speedway 2C late model on the racetrack. This is Randy Kramer riding in that America First 2C late model here around Cedar Lake. We'll have 2 back-to-back rides coming up before opening ceremonies.
For everyone watching around the world on DIRTVision, you're watching coverage of the 39th annual USA Nationals. We'll be right back.